Michael's saying they've got good attacking options. We had a good discussion about Gyokeres before the game. He lasted 64 minutes today. Yeah. You just heard Mikel Arteta saying we had 2 or 3 deliveries into the penalty area and we didn't have anyone on the end of them. How can he improve this, Wrighty?
Well, this is what you think you've bought. Because, listen, you want people to score. You want them to take chances when the chances come. But when you're paying the kind of monies that you pay now for the strikers, what you want more movement. You want to be trying to getting yourself in the middle of the box. Whatever happens, if you watch this run, the run was being made, at some stage you've got to think to yourself, can I pull out? I can't keep just going. Look at this one. Ima Konate, look, in nothing. It's a ball in. At some stage, that ball's coming. You've got to do more to at least get away from him. This is what I'm saying. These are the things that he has to do. And at the moment, we're not getting. You're not getting enough in that respect because, again, like the first half, you're going to get games like this where it's going to be tight and it can take movement. I talk about Šeško's goal against Burnley. Great cross. The cross is coming in. Brilliant movement before and great finish. Those are the things that makes the difference in these games. That moment, those moments, Mike, that might be all you get because you look at his touches, what he's had in the game, whatever it is. I don't know how many touches he had in the first half.
7.
7. The fact is, I remember Haaland last season, I think it was against Forest. I think they said he had 11 touches. He scored 3 goals. No one cares. I don't care if I've had 5 touches, but one of them's a goal. I don't care. And the way you do that is when you're in the box, you make that movement. You cause defenders problems by moving. I think he's too static in the box. So when the ball's coming, it's either going behind him or he's not anticipating and making movements to make things happen. He's not gambling enough.
And when you look at his numbers there, 3 goals from open play, and they're against, no disrespect to him, Burnley, Everton, Nottingham Forest. In a blockbuster like this, he hasn't registered a single goal yet in a big clash for Arsenal.
We were on the pitch about 4 or 5 minutes before kick-off and we were discussing him. I said then, the jury's out, and I still feel the same way at the moment. Listen, fortunately for Arsenal, they've got lots of other players that can,
That's key,
that can
isn't
score
it?
goals.
Because if they were really, really relying on him with those numbers, they wouldn't be top of the league.
They wanted him to put the finishing touches on this team, and they're probably still searching for that person. If the Champions League final was tomorrow night, I'm not sure he would start. They will continue and they will persist with him, of course, because they paid so much money. You want to give him all the chance in the world. And you know what? Against the Burnleys, against the Nottingham Forest, against the Everton, whoever it might be, he probably is going to score a lot of goals. He can finish. He will be in the box. But, to win these games, you need a bit of class. You just need a bit of class, and I think that's where he lacks.
You know what it is? It's in these games when you do have a game like this. Yes, we've been playing well coming into it. I was saying 2, maybe 3-0 today, just because of the way we've been playing. But when you do get a game like this, you do need somebody who's out of nothing say, he's done nothing all game, but he's scored the winning goal. Because sometimes you get games like this, you don't get many touches, like I said, but you get that goal, you win it 1-0, and people say, yes, that's what we bought him for. But at the moment, we're still not quite seeing that, and hopefully there's enough games coming in before the end of the season. Hopefully that will happen, because I think we're going to need to see something.
There's a bit of a saying, isn't there, a flat track bully. I think he could be that type, playing at home against lesser teams. He'll score your 1s, your 2s, maybe even the odd hat-trick or whatever. He'll take the penalties. At the end of the season, you'll look at it and probably think, do you know what? He's got into double figures, not a bad return. However, when you look closely at it, did he make a difference in the big games, the ones that you really need your big players? And sadly, so far, only half of the season gone, but sadly, so far, it's a no. And at the moment, as I say, the jury is definitely still out.
But when you look at the options available on that graphic, that's helping at the moment, isn't it? Because, as I say, there isn't a sole reliance. Quite the opposite to Manchester City, what people are saying about City, actually, where if Erling Haaland goes 3 games without a goal, City aren't scoring, they aren't winning.
But we have got goals. And again, this is why I'm very surprised to see Saka coming off, because he's one of our main goal scorers. But, Jesus is still coming back after a long injury. He looks very sharp. You've got Kai Havertz is coming soon as well. We know Mikel Moreno can play out there, he can score. We know Trossard can score goals. We know Gabriel from the back can score. So we've got goals.
Is that taking some of the heat off Gyokeres, do you think?
Without a doubt, because if those guys weren't doing that, with the money that we've paid, there would be a lot more noise around him. And it's these moments where, like I say, if I was playing in this team, coming from the league he's come from. All I'll be working on is my movement in the box. My first touch to make sure I link it, get it out there, get in the box, and let them know when you get it. I know when you cut inside back onto your left foot, Bukayo, I'm going to be zooming across that first post. If you get to the line, I'm going to drop out and I'm going to make sure I come and attack it because I know you're going to have to chip it up. I'm letting them know what I want. Martin Odegaard, if you're running through, I'm going to go to the left and then I'm going to cut across him so you put it through and I go across him so then I'm able to go into it and then have my shot. These are the things I'll be saying to them in training because there's so much going on with Arsenal. They've got so much going on through the pitch. You deal with the area. That's what we're paying you to do. Anything that comes into and then around that area is your domain. So you own it. Own that domain and let them know, put that ball in for me because I'm making the runs. At the moment, he's not.
And let's flip it the other way. If he can click, like Wright is saying with some of his teammates, and go on a goal-scoring run, then surely, with the goals coming from elsewhere, Arsenal will look formidable at the top of that table.
Well, every other team is probably thanking the lucky stars that they haven't got a centre-forward that's scoring plenty of goals at the moment. And, you know, they're not easy to find. You know, you look at the Premier League, who people have signed over the last season to come into the Premier League. Sesko, OK, he scored a couple last night, but he's not hit the ground running. You look at, you know, Gyokeres, not really. Voltemade is probably the one that
Liverpool with
most.
Nunes even,
Exactly.
85 million.
Isak hasn't scored too many goals, but he was already a Premier League player. But the Premier League have got lots of, you know, the team's got lots of them. They're bringing some of the best players that are on the market from around the world, and not many of them are hitting the ground running. There's a dearth of centre forwards in world football at the moment. You know, players like, you know, Gyokeres scoring dozens and dozens of goals in a season in Portugal. Bring them to the Premier League, it's a different ball game. So, yeah, there's not that many out. I feel sorry for Mikel Arteta in a way, in that he knows that was the problem. And you search around the world and you think, right, we've got a big pot of money to spend. What are our options? They're not that many, as you can quite clearly see. So not an easy position to fill at the moment. And as we all know, Arsenal are doing so well that it's probably being papered over the cracks at the minute. But the bottom line is, the jury is out. I'm not sure he's the long-term answer.
You know, the thing is, even though, like, talking about Sesko, and I won't stop because I was quite pleased to see the goal what he scored, the second goal especially, and the movement, because then you can do all those things that I said about getting the ball in the box, because now I know Dorgu, he knows I'm just witnessing because he's making movement. Just seeing him do that movement makes me, I feel a lot more confident in what he is capable of doing once the ball gets in the box, because I know that he's got the capability of making that movement to totally lose the defender. He's trying, instead of just going in straight and having a tussle with someone here. You know, someone like Kanate who's strong. You're not going to score goals doing that, and that's what's got to happen. The movement's got to be better because we've got people who can put the ball in the box.
But at the other end, and this is another reason they're 6 points clear, they've kept 10 clean sheets, another one tonight, 2 more than any other team. And as you said earlier for Liverpool, they're so hard to break down, aren't they?
It's Arsenal's strength. I know they score goals, of course they do. Of course they've got lots of good attacking players, but the strength of their team is their defence, let's say, and that includes their goalkeeper, that includes their defensive midfield play, it includes the whole team, really. They're very, very difficult to score against. Liverpool show that. Liverpool played well today. They've hardly had a shot on target, or no shot on target. You know, everything's been from long range. You know, they're so hard to play against. And do you know what? If you have an average game and you still get a 0-0 against a team like Liverpool, then you're well on your way to being the champions. I mean, it's a strength, and you know, and I don't deny them what they're doing. You know, why play gung-ho? Why go and try to score X amount and leave yourself vulnerable? This is the strength of your team. Make sure we keep that strength and go on. If we can go and score a goal or two, then fantastic. You know, and that's, as I say, without a centre-forward that's knocking the lights out at the moment.
All I want, Mike, Steve, is just to have a more cushion. You want to build as much of a cushion.
You've got 6 points, right? How much do you want?
Yeah, just keep going. So as then what happens is, you can have the odd game like this and it doesn't hurt you because you know, OK, we'll get it going again. But City or Liverpool or even United back in the days, all of those top teams, they do not rest on oh, we've got 6 points. They go. They'll try and beat a Liverpool here. They'll beat the teams. So that's what I want us to do, simply because I want us to have as much of a cushion going into it. That's why I'm scared. I'm not scared.
There's that nervousness again, isn't there? They're so desperate for it.
Maybe.
And you can feel that amongst the crowd. Yeah. It has been a while, but of course they've practiced that over the last few seasons, and I do think they're pretty much ready to go and do it now. They just don't look like conceding. So, it's going to be hard for anybody to beat them.
Indeed. Michael Wrighty, thank you very much indeed for your company. Thank you very much indeed for being with us here live at the Emirates. Arsenal could have been 8 clear by tonight. They're still 6. We need Wrighty to chill. Very, very good position at the top of the league. Good night.
And we do hope that Conor Bradley's injury is not too bad, but his manager is obviously very concerned right now. 10 unbeaten now for Liverpool, and Arne Slot's side didn't have a goalless draw in his first 83 matches in charge, and now he's had 2 in a week. But this run has taken Liverpool into 4th place in the Premier League, and 14 points off the top still, but 8 behind City and Aston Villa. And they're in a scrap, it seems, right now for Champions League football. Or should we be expecting or hoping more from Liverpool, Daniel?
More. The Champions League's what they need to aim for. You see how tight it is there. A few bad results and it could go downhill. So, look, tonight was a good performance from the team, and they've strung together an unbeaten run. But the points suggest even if you're unbeaten, it doesn't really matter. There's so many teams, it's so close that they've got to get a run of wins is what they need. But they'll take a lot of confidence from tonight. They work so hard, and the manager's game plan was great. They'll go back to the drawing board, and once they get those players back fit, they'll look to go after it.
Did you have your questions on Liverpool answered this evening?
What were my questions?
I can't remember what they were. you were wondering.
I said before
you
the
wanted
game
to know
was
why they dropped off so much. That was what you were chatting with Daniel.
I think that's still the mystery of why they've dropped off so much from last season. But what I said before the game was that they had 9 of their best 11 players out on the pitch that would have played in their starting 11. And to be fair, I think that proved it tonight, because I think those 9 players, along with the other 2, did a very good job. They were really good. They obviously missed Salah, Ekitike, Isak. They missed that sort of ruthless killer up front. But I think they can. We've accused Liverpool of being flaky at moments this season where they've fallen apart in games. Tonight, I thought they were really good. And it shocked me, I have to say. To switch a game from being so defensive in the first half and being dominated in possession to then go and controlling the game in the second half is, I thought it was really good from Liverpool. I think he can be really bad. And the only bad thing tonight is the Conor Bradley injury. I thought it was a really bad one. That it was just a situation as well. I hope Martinelli's gone in to apologise to him in the dressing room.
Would you expect him to have done that?
100%. 100%. The minute he knows that lad's injured, look, no football. I genuinely believe football players deep down are all good lads, and that, to be fair, there's a competitiveness to them, there's emotion. You get it. He obviously thinks that he's trying to waste time at the end of a game, Martinelli, but I think you could see that was a bad one. He throws the ball at him, he then chucks him over. I mean, it looks like he's been stretched off, and what Arne Slot said, it's not good. I hope that Martinelli has gone into the Liverpool dressing room or into the treatment room where Conor Bradley is, and has said, I'm really sorry, I should not have done that. I'd like to think that's happened.
You talked about them as being poor champions before the game, Roy. If that is their level, and Dominic Szoboszlai sort of hinted that he wanted that to be the level moving forward, can it still turn out to be a good season for them?
I think, listen, all the talk before the game, most people coming here tonight would have probably felt if Arsenal had the very best, they'll win the game. But we'd have to give Liverpool credit. The way they turned up, it showed a bit of fighting spirit. And they're up against, you can see they're not quite at their very best. But they've got their own battles going on. Their battle is for 4th. So I would give Liverpool credit tonight, but I still think they should be doing better than what they have over the season. But I understand the challenges they've faced. If they turn up like that and show that bit of spirit, a bit of quality, then they will finish in that top 4. And considering where they were a couple of months ago, if you'd offered that to Liverpool, they probably would have took it. They've got European football. Obviously, the managers there mentioned the FA Cup. So Liverpool getting 1 or 2 players back still have the potential of a very good season.
Did you think it was a penalty? Obviously, I was on commentary. Did you think the Trossard on Wirtz one was a penalty or not now?
We can have another look at it now, Gary. There wasn't a lot of love for it, I think, in here
I
at
was
the
a
time.
bit like that with it. I just wondered what you thought in the studio. I don't listen to what you're saying straight after the game.
I have a question now, because, when you say poor champions, right? What is a good champion? No, honestly, it's a genuine question. Like a good defence, like when you say they're poor champions, what does that mean?
To be so far off it, to be so many points behind, what really good champions do, they win it again. That's the key to... For big clubs, if you win the league, surely the following year, I mentioned there when they won it with Klopp, the following season, this is the...
Right, we'll come back to that conversation, because it's an interesting one, but this is what Gary was talking about there.
If it was given, do you think it would have been overruled?
Probably not. It was a risky one. Look at that there.
Yeah.
Ooh, no,
anywhere else on the pitch?
Yeah.
Is that a foul? Yeah.
Mate.
Do you think it's a penalty or not?
I think that's a pen.
Yeah,
I do.
But half of me, it's one of them. Joseph, you lose your confidence a little bit now when you, honestly,
you're on Gary. We played with you for a long time. Yeah.
No, you lose your confidence now and thinking, what's a penalty? Is that a penalty? Is it not? Is it a dive? I just thought, Joseph, that's a foul, isn't it? It's a foul.
It always looks worse when it's slowed down.
Yeah. Probably.
If they say go to the screen, that's a pen.
Yeah, it's all right, yeah.
You didn't say this at the time. I'm pretty sure you didn't say it at
the time we didn't see the replay at the time.
Dave, that's why
You're watching the game.
At the time, I was watching it on the VAR, I'm watching the replays. I'm thinking, is that a penalty?
Great in hindsight. Yeah.
we were all looking.
Any more
back
penalties? There were a couple of close calls, weren't there? Because Frimpong also had a bit of contact, which is why he went over on his ankle in that first half. I think everyone had said it here. If that one had been given on the field, it wasn't going to get overturned. That is for sure. What's a good champion?
Makes a good champion is when you're back competing at the very top. We mentioned about Liverpool when Klopp won it. Was it 5-6 years ago? They were 30-odd points off worse the following year. For big clubs like Liverpool, and this year, come back to last year, but after 20 games, they're 13 points worse off.
Can I ask Roy a question?
Champions.
Can I ask a question?